Beginning. The handshake that started everything. I never expected a handshake to change my life, let alone bind me to an alien queen. The diplomatic outpost on Vethelios 4 wasn't supposed to be anything more than a routine assignment. I had been sent as part of the Human Coalition's Cultural Outreach Unit, tasked with learning about the Vethelians and helping establish peaceful trade routes. The Vethelians were tall, elegant, and strangely luminous under their planet's twin suns. Their skin shifted colors with emotion, something between bioluminescence and a mood ring. I had only been on the planet for 3 days, and already I had been warned repeatedly by my commander. Do not touch the royals. Their customs are delicate. Their traditions ancient. Keep your hands to yourself. I remembered nodding, half distracted, still exhausted from hyperspace jet lag. And then the morning came, the day we were supposed to meet Queen Serisha Vethelios, ruler of the crystalline citadel that floated above the shimmering desert plains. The throne room was a masterpiece of living crystal. The pillars hummed like singing glass, shimmering with every footstep. At the far end, surrounded by attendants, stood Queen Serisha. She was breathtaking. Tall, slender, with hair like flowing silver flame and eyes that held entire galaxies within them. Her skin glowed in soft blues and violets, colors shifting like auroras. I had no idea what those colors meant. She stepped forward gracefully as the human delegation lined up. One by one, she acknowledged them with a slow nod, a traditional Vethelian greeting. And then she stood before me. Her eyes widened just slightly. Interest, maybe? Curiosity? I wasn't sure. Human traveler, she said, her voice like vibrating crystal. You are different. I assumed she meant that I wasn't a diplomat or seasoned envoy like the others. I was simply a cultural specialist. A researcher. I smiled nervously. Thank you, Your Majesty. And then it happened. She extended her hand. I didn't think. I didn't pause. I didn't remember the dozen warnings about physical contact. I simply did what humans do. I reached out and shook her hand. A light, simple, polite human handshake. The entire throne room gasped. Her skin went crimson gold, glowing in ripples from her hand up her arm. The attendants froze in horror. Royal guards raised their staffs in panic. And Queen Serisha stared at our joined hands with her mouth slightly parted. Oh no, whispered the chief envoy beside me. Oh no, 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 what have you done? I pulled my hand back instinctively. Was that wrong? I'm sorry. But before anyone could answer, Queen Serisha spoke, her voice trembling. You offer your hand, your warmth, your life essence. And blinked. My what now? She placed her palm over her heart. Human. You have just performed the bonding oath. My brain stopped functioning. The what? The envoy beside me was now pale. The Vethelian ritual of eternal unity. You can't just. He pointed helplessly at me. You didn't touch her, did you? I squeaked. It was a handshake. Queen Serisha smiled, a radiant, euphoric expression, and the crystals of the throne room pulsed brighter. By ancient tradition, she declared, voice echoing through the hall, this human has pledged himself to me as my lifebond. The hall erupted in shimmering lights, and my world shattered into confusion. The consequences of a bond. I didn't faint, but I came very close. Within moments, guards ushered me away, not aggressively, but with the delicate reverence of people handling a sacred artifact. They brought me to a private chamber within the Citadel, where royal advisors tried, and failed, to explain the ritual to me in terms I'd understand. The handshake, said Advisor Lareth, steepling his glowing fingers. is a symbolic union in your culture, yes? No, I said firmly. It's basic politeness. It means nothing romantic. He frowned. Nothing. But you touched her palm. Skin to skin. That's normal for us. The advisors exchanged horrified expressions, whispering among themselves. Another advisor, Tichelle, leaned forward. Human customs are truly dangerous. I rubbed my face. So this bond. What does it actually mean? Lareth inhaled deeply. The Lifebond is an ancient Vethelian vow. Promise of unity. A merging of paths. It is performed only once in a lifetime. It signifies devotion, protection, partnership. Marriage, Tichelle finished bluntly. Groaned. I didn't ask for this. I didn't even know. The bond has already been sealed, Lareth said gently. Her Majesty accepted the touch freely, unknowingly reciprocating the vow. Images flashed in my head. Our hands clasped, her glowing skin, her eyes widening. What if I decline? I asked softly. They both recoiled. To break the Lifebond is to insult the Queen and destabilize the throne, Tichelle said, voice sharp. It would be seen as sacrilege. War, whispered Lareth. Between your federation and our empire. I wanted to scream. I made a mistake, I said, voice shaking. A cultural mistake. Tichelle sighed. Then we must hope Her Majesty is merciful. As if summoned by my panic, the crystalline door shifted open and Queen Sarasha entered. Her glow intensified when she saw me. Human, she said, voice soft yet resonant. May I sit? He nodded. She sat gracefully across from me, studying me with gentle curiosity. You are frightened. Yes, I admitted. Because I didn't understand. I didn't know. She placed a hand on her heart again. You touched me with sincerity, with warmth, with no hesitation. In my world. That is the greatest act of devotion. I swallowed. In my world it's just greeting someone. Her glowing colors dimmed, shifting to deep blue sadness. Oh! She looked away, troubled. For years, she whispered, I believed no one would ever bond with me. My people respect me, yes, but they see a queen, not a woman. When you took my hand so openly, I thought, she paused. I believed fate had finally answered. The chamber fell silent. Guilt crushed me. Not because I rejected her, but because I had hurt her without meaning to. Queen Sarasha, I said carefully, I never intended to deceive you. She stared at her hands. I know. But the bond, it is real now. It cannot be undone without risking turmoil across worlds. I exhaled slowly. So what happens now? Her gaze shifted to mine. Now, we learn each other. Middle, a queen, a human, and a bond they can't avoid. Over the next days I was escorted everywhere. Not as a prisoner, but as something more complicated. A betrothed. Political symbol. Maybe both. Queen Sarasha insisted on personally guiding me through the Citadel. We walked through crystalline gardens where plants chimed like bells in the wind. She showed me the floating observatories that drifted around the palace like slow-moving stars. The more time I spent with her, the more I understood her loneliness. Despite being revered, she had few real connections. Everyone treated her like a goddess, not a person. And strangely, she treated me differently. She asked questions about Earth, about humans, about our habits. She laughed when I explained sarcasm. She became fascinated by the concept of pets. She tried shaking my hand again, just to feel the moment properly. Every time, her skin glowed soft coral pink. Curiosity, warmth, affection. And slowly, I began to relax around her. One evening, after a day filled with diplomatic chaos, she invited me to the observation balcony. The twin suns set in shimmering ribbons of gold and violet across the horizon. She stood beside me quietly,